This conference will now be recorded.
Right. Okay, I would like to call the August 14th meeting of the Zoning Commission to order. Will you call the roll, please?
Mr. Sable.
Here.
Ms. Hillary.
Here.
Mr. Pratt.
Here.
Mr. Creedy.
Here.
Mr. Bowman.
Here.
The first item of business is to approve minutes from our last meeting, which is May 8th, 2024. I believe everybody's received a copy of those. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve May 8th, 24 minutes.
And I'll second.
Motion and a second. Any additions or corrections to the minutes?
None.
Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Okay, Mr. Creedy.
Yes.
Mr. Pratt.
Yes.
Ms. Hillary.
Yes.
Mr. Sable.
Abstain.
Mr. Bowman.
Yes.
Motion carries. We have no items of old business and several items of new business. Our first one is a zone change request from C2 General Commercial to RA Low Density Residential for the property located at 5629 Webster Drive. Carol, you want to take us through it?
Sure. Subject property at 5629 Webster Road consists of 9,000 square foot lot on the west side of Webster, the Westfield Apartments residential subdivision. A 2,025 square foot, two-story single-family dwelling constructed in 1927 sits on the approximate center of the lot. The parcel is split zone with the northwest portion zoned RA low density residential and the southeast portion zoned C2 general commercial. The subject property is bounded on all sides by other single-family dwellings also within the Westfield Apartments subdivision. Those abutting to the north and west are zoned RA, while those to the east and south are zoned C2. The subject property is uniquely split zone demarcation line between the C2 zoning and the RA zoning traversing the lot on the northeast-southwest axis. However, the property has been continuously used as a residential dwelling, and that use has been harmonious with the neighboring parcels. The applicant is requesting a zone change from C2 general commercial to RA low density residential in order to bring the zoning of the entire property into compliance with the use of the property. Additionally, the existing commercial zoning inhibits the current or future property owners from obtaining financing or refinancing of the dwelling. The Township Land Use Plan recommends low, medium density residential uses for the area north of Alexis Road, with the general exception of those parcels fronting onto the west. The Land Use Plan's corresponding zone designations for this recommended use are A3, RA, and R2. The Lucas County Plan Commission Planning Staff recommended approval of the staff report, and at its July 24, 2024 hearing, the Plan Commission voted to recommend approval to the township of the requested zone change. Staff recommends approval of the zone change request from C2 to RA for the property located at 5629 Webster Road for the following reasons. One, the proposed zone change is compatible with the State Township Land Use Plan's recommendation of low, medium density residential uses for this area of the township. Two, the proposed zone change should not create an unreasonable adverse impact upon existing nearby properties. And three, the proposed zone change is compatible with the neighboring uses.
Is there anybody here that wants to address the zoning commission on this issue? You come to the microphone, make sure you state your name and address.
My name is Miguel Leyva. I live at the house. I'm here to represent my wife. She's basically the homeowner of it. I mean, I really don't know what, I was just told to come and represent.
No, you don't have to say anything other than it's your request and that's fine.
Yeah, no, I mean, a lot of the neighbors don't have an issue with anything, so.
Well, they'd be here if they did.
Yeah.
Okay, are there any questions from the zoning commission? We've had similar things like this recently, so. Hearing none, do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve the C2 to RA.
I'll second.
A motion and a second. Any comments, questions? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Bowman.
Yes.
Mr. Sable.
Yes.
Ms. Hillary.
Yes,
Mr. Pratt.
Yes.
Mr. Creedy.
Yes.
motion carries, and then we'll go down to the trustees for final approval. You don't have to say.
December 3rd, it's Tuesday, and we have 5.
All right, thank you guys very much. Have a good day.
Now we have 3 items which all sort of run together, which is some text amendments to the zoning articles. Do you want to take us through those, Daryl? Right, Article 8, Article 16, and Article 9.
Sylvania Township Zoning Department is proposing amendments to 3 articles of the Sylvania Township zoning resolution and the addition of terms related to these amendments to the definition section of the zoning resolution. The past couple of years have seen at least 2 charging stations for electric vehicles installed within the township. With the expectation of numerous future EV charging stations forthcoming, the zoning department wishes to get ahead of the issue and have in place zoning regulations to address where these uses can be located and outline screening requirements and other standards. Presently, no other townships and few municipalities within the county have addressed this use in regard to zoning. The proposed new section, Section 831, electrical vehicle charging stations, and respective definitions to the zoning resolution are based in part on those of the city of Toledo. With the 2021 revision of the Sylvania Township zoning resolution, sidewalk exceptions were introduced with the new section 1106 sidewalks, parentheses public. Exceptions to the installation of public sidewalks had previously been heard by the Board of Trustees per a resolution passed by that board in 1999. With inclusion in the zoning resolution, request for this exception now appears before the Board of Zoning Appeals. Today's requested amendment is to add the sidewalk requirement exception to section 1605 exception. In 2016, the Board of Trustees approved the addition of section 902 review by Plan Commission to Article 9 of the zoning resolution. No other townships in Lucas County require the review of conditional use requests by the Plan Commission. The proposed amendments to sections 900, 901, and 902 create the classifications of major and minor conditional uses and their respective requirements for review. The purpose of this amendment is to simplify the review and approval process for those conditional use requests that are proposing minimal, if any, significant development to the subject property, for example, buildings, impervious coverage, access drives, etc. The Lucas County Planning Commission planning staff recommended approval of the staff report, and on July 24th, the Planning Commission voted to recommend approval to the township of the requested amendments. Staff recommends approval of the requested amendments to the Sylvania Township zoning resolution.
Okay. So let's take them one at a time. So the first one, the text amendment regarding Article 8, has to do with the electric charging stations. We're talking just about residential properties, the installation of charging stations on residential properties, or any place in the township?
It's actually both. It's addressed here somewhere. Yeah, subsection B and C. B is EV charging equipment may be installed in any legally established parking space on any lot used for single family or two-family dwelling. So if somebody wants at their home, personal one. And then C is the EV charging stations, parking areas and infrastructure in the non-residential zone districts. Yes. More of a concern.
So even if they were in a commercial, like say a big parking lot, they'd still have to have some screening or something?
Correct. We've got 2 that I know of. There's one in the Meyer parking lot next to AAA. And then recently, and this is kind of what brought all this on, Yard Ford put one in right next to the right of way of Republic Boulevard.
Okay.
We didn't have anything regulating that, so, I mean, they did end up putting up some fencing around it and privacy fencing. It does look good. But thought we should get something adopted. I know as this moves forward, we're probably going to be tweaking this in the future. But I just kind of want to get ahead of the curve here a
What
little
kind of
bit.
screening do you talk about there? Because I'm getting a lot of these big tenants I'm working with now, major tenants, franchises, they're almost requesting to have charging stations like in shopping centers, like 3 or 4 slots. I mean, how would you screen something like that?
So you're talking like individual spaces.
Yeah, like
I could say Kroger.
Kroger, say Kroger wants, or just a 5-unit shopping center. One of the
Yeah,
tenants.
they're at hotels now too.
I mean, I don't know how you screen something like that if you had this, the back of the shopping center, there's 4 or 5 stalls, they want to have their customers have the,
Yeah, that's a good point.
I don't know how you screen that because I've had 3 leases come over the last month that they're requesting charging stations in the parking lot.
I mean, it makes a lot of sense to me that if people want to put them up in residential areas.
Yeah, but I think most people that have them in residential have them in their own garage.
Yeah, but if say somebody wanted to put it outside, or even in, some apartment buildings, some of the nicer apartment buildings. But I mean, when you just think about the commercial, like Joe's talking about, you have a big parking lot, you're building something new and you're just, because it's the phase. I mean, I'm not sure we need all that screening on commercial properties.
I don't know how you even do it in a shopping center.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. If you're not sure, you're not going to put a fence up by the sidewalk as you walk in.
I mean, I think it makes a lot of sense to add
Put them whenever-
it for,
Economic way for them to put it in,
One of them
side of a building or something.
Yeah, in Gatlinburg, they're way out by the road, stores.
then how does the car even get to it if it's all screened off?
Well, screenings around the, what the words are.
Pedestals.
Transformer,
Yeah,
all the big equipment.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, the ones I've seen tend to be just sort of like a pillar that comes up and,
I just don't.
Yeah, because when they're like at Ford and Maumee, it's all asphalt and they're stuck right in the center and you can charge from either side. So there really would be no way to screen those because it's concrete and asphalt. There's no way you could put a bush or.
But like if you go to these shopping centers and if you're going to get your hair done, one of these gals for an hour, she wants to plug her car in. It's a convenience for the shopping center. It's just an added amenity.
And I'm assuming when they'll do it, they'll put it somewhere where it's the most economic way for them to put it somewhere.
Yeah.
Like maybe on the side of a building or
Yeah.
they're not
They're not going to sit there.
gonna trench no parking lot up to put
No,
them
they're
charging.
going to want to put them right up front and center, but
No, they trenched up the whole parking lot at Maumee and Brandy's. Ask them, it costs them a lot of money.
I just don't know how you screen it.
So I think the thinking on this, and again, I plagiarized from the city of Toledo on.
Well, that was your first mistake.
Sorry.
So there's a difference between the charging equipment and the infrastructure that includes the generators, transformers, substations, things like that. So I think, and maybe it could be worded better, but the screenings for around the infrastructure equipment. The big, get a picture.
Well, we may want to do a little more homework because I'm just saying some of them, there's a plug goes, so picture a gas station pump, right?
Right.
You can pump gas either way with the hose. A charging station is essentially the gas pump. You could plug a car in either way. So now if I'm in the center of a parking lot, whether it be Kroger, Meijer, wherever, we're obviously thinking of the ones by AAA. Those can only be charged from one side. I don't think you go on the AAA side.
Because they're on
So those could be screened on the back side, but now figure moving those over one aisle, if you will, and you could charge from both ends. There's no way for me to screen that. Because now you have a fence, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and like I said, the screening and all that makes a lot of sense to me for a residential area. That's why I was asking, does it apply to commercial too? Because I don't see how you could come up with something consistent with.
We may just need to table this and do a little more homework.
Yeah.
And kind of look at some other, like, it's so new, I don't know what the pedestals, Teslas might be different than what Fords are, you know?
I don't think you want to pass anything right now. Wait till after.
I like the idea, but I mean, I think it's a good idea to get
You don't
ahead.
have to worry.
I mean, I'm not against the idea, I just think, some of these things that people are raising here before we approve it.
And obviously that someone wanted to put them in, they could go to BZA, get a variance, but I think we could maybe research this a little more.
Because you're going to see them in every shopping center, I'm just telling you right
I
now.
think
Oh,
so.
yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it, like I said, when we went traveling to Gatlinburg, they're like promoted at hotels now. 'Cause
You see them at the turnpike on the
Yeah.
toll stops. I mean, I've
But
seen
I
them in
don't
parking
remember.
garages in DC.
There was no screening on them anywhere down there, but
Yeah, most of the ones I've seen in
Maybe
commercial,
Tennessee though.
just sit out there.
Tennessee, Georgia.
I mean, are they considered an eyesore or something? I don't get it.
Well, I mean, this isn't a great picture, just finding this online is kind of, yeah. So you have the individual chargers there by the spots, but then you have all this.
Oh, you're talking about almost the infrastructure for it.
Right, right.
Yeah. Maybe that's something, yeah, I don't,
It's just like a green transformer in a
Yeah.
subdivision
All
though.
that stuff to.
They kind of hide the big boxes. but-
Like you wouldn't put your air conditioning tower in the front yard. Yeah.
I am attending a webinar next week that the Township Association is putting on regarding EVs, but see that the,
Yeah, I see what you're
so like these are the individual chargers.
So that's what I'm thinking, you're meaning screen those.
Yeah, I think maybe that could be worded differently.
Yes.
Yeah, 'cause
Well, maybe we should just table this
I would
for
assume
this.
they're not going to want to screen that too much because of airflow anyways. Obviously, if that's
They
it.
get hot.
Right, it's like an AC unit.
So even if arborvitae's or something by it, shrubbery, it may, I don't know enough about it.
Yep.
They may not want shrubs by it, by electric code.
Or may have to
You
put
know what I mean?
a pervious fence that's got some sort of screen.
Yes,
Well, Yard Ford wanted the fence mostly for the security of it,
sure.
you know.
There's a lot of cops. There's a
That way
lot
the
of
kids just have to
cops.
climb the fence before they steal it. Yeah, I see.
But they have to be informed. Yeah.
No, I see.
It teaches them a lesson that you work hard, you get.
Well, I mean, we haven't really had a formal motion to approve or anything, so can we just agree to bring this back again, or do we, you want a motion? We could do a formal motion to table it. I mean, either, whatever you think.
Well, I mean, I guess, should we just move on to the other two?
Yeah, and then just plan on coming back with this one and, you know, because I do think it's a good idea. I just think we've got a little bit more work to do on that one. So then Article 16 is the one that talks about, what was it again?
Sidewalks.
Sidewalks. And so what that one is basically doing is when they go through the approval process, that what happens, I mean, I know we've been pushing people to put in sidewalks in new developments.
Right, and this was just an omission when we did the update to the zoning resolution. And we put it under the sidewalk section, but it didn't get put in under the Board of Zoning Appeals list of exceptions, things that they can grant exception on.
So they could grant an exception if somebody came in and said, oh, I'm doing this development, I don't want sidewalks.
Right, I mean, there's a list of reasons that there's no sidewalks on either side, or whatever reason it's not feasible.
So we're just clearing up some stuff. Anybody have a problem or question about this one?
No, that one I don't.
So you need a motion for that one? Can I get a motion then to approve the text amendment regarding Article 16, Section 1605 of the zoning code? Motion approval. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other questions? Call the roll, please.
Okay. Mr. Zabel?
Yes.
Ms. Hill?
Yes,
Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Mr. Creedy?
Yes.
Mr. Valensky?
yes.
carries. And then Article 9, you're making a distinction between major and minor.
Correct. We've had a few instances come up lately, somebody asking for conditional use. Say for outside storage, for example, that's one, or a couple of them that we've had. Commercial or industrial area, outside storage of the equipment. That's a conditional use. They're not putting up a building, they're not paving anything, not running utilities. Basically, all they want to do is fence off an area to store their equipment, parts, trailers, things like that. So,
What about the storage containers? These strip centers that put storage containers alongside of them to store stuff.
I mean, good problem.
Was that part of it, or?
Yeah, I think that's, we should consider an accessory structure. You mean they're permanently or just
No.
like?
Temporary?
Yeah, that would be considered more of an accessory structure. This is a permanent thing that would require conditional use, but there are conditional uses that aren't doing a major,
And would require fencing?
well, outdoor storage, yes. Another example is we have somebody that's looking at putting in a internet sweepstakes cafe in an existing storefront. That's a conditional use, but they're just going into an existing storefront, they're not building anything, putting in additional parking, or anything different. It's just a new tenant going into that. So that's when we came up with a major minor to kind of streamline for some of these lesser conditional uses.
Any questions? And this was reviewed by the,
You're the real estate guru.
I'm still kind of confused about now we switch over to internet. This is all conditional use stuff we're talking.
Right,
Whether it's going to be minor or major.
right.
Who's making the definition of major and minor?
well, that's what this is about.
Well, that's,
So there's a list of all the minor and a list of all the majors?
Well, there's examples, right?
Oh. I didn't see that, not back.
Yeah.
Okay.
so. Section C or subsection C here.
So if you're going to, so basically it's going to be minor if it doesn't, you're not putting any more buildings, driveways or whatever.
Right.
I don't got a problem, I don't have a problem with that.
Anybody else have any other questions? Hearing none, do I have a motion to approve Article 9?
I'll make a motion to
Text it.
update and change Article 9.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Any additional comments or questions? Call roll?
Okay, Mr. Creedy,
Yes.
Mr. Pratt,
Yes.
Ms. Hilleman,
Yes.
Mr. Zabel,
Yes.
Mr. Belinski.
Yes.
Motion carries. And Article 8, send a citizen-generated request text amendment regarding Article 5 to the Lucas County Plan Commission. And that has to do with a truck washing station or something.
Property owner within the township has submitted a request to amend section 504 excluded uses of the Sabine Township zoning resolution. The request is to eliminate the use of truck terminal / wash from the list of specific uses excluded within the Central Avenue overlay. This request must be sent to the Lucas County Plan Commission for review by a motion of the Sabine Township zoning commission. This is just a motion to send this downtown.
For a review.
Right.
And then that sort of ties in with the next one, which says, if this, something like this comes up again, we're just gonna let you do it without having us having to vote.
Correct, this is the way it's been done. Yeah, I put it in there. I went back as far as 2000. I
Yeah.
probably really dug into the archives to look for exactly that was sufficient, that we've never done it that way.
Yeah, okay. Is there anybody that wants to address the zoning commission on either of these, Article 8 or 9? So we're just voting to send it downtown for review. It would come back to us then
Where's the parcel at?
on Central Avenue, right?
I mean, it's on the north side of Central, between King and
Right off of Grand Ball.
Centennial, but
Other side of Grand Ball.
the thing is, this would apply to anywhere in the Central Avenue.
Well, doesn't the Central Avenue overlay stop at King Road?
No, it stops at
Centennial?
Richfield Township border.
I thought we were here a few months ago and they told me it was stopped at King.
No.
You did.
Yeah.
No.
I remember asking, when we had
Starts at
something,
Ford
yes.
and goes all the way west.
We were dealing with something in Holland, Sylvania or Central Avenue Strip, and then you said, no, it doesn't go all the way to Centennial. And I was under the impression it did and always had.
Yeah, it goes all the way to the wall. It doesn't start until.
Don't make me go back through the minutes and listen. Because I will.
Well, we won't have to consider it until the time comes up. So you need a motion to send it downtown for number 8. So do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to send it down to the planning commission.
I'll second that. Is there any additional comments, questions? Call the roll.
Okay, Mr. Zelinski,
Yes.
Mr. Zabel,
Yes.
Ms. Hilline,
Yes.
Mr. Pratt,
Yes.
Mr. Creed.
Yes.
Then number 9 basically says the next time something like this comes up, you don't have to come to us for a vote. You can just send it down yourself and then it'll come back. Any action.
I'll motion for that too.
I'll second that. Motion a second. Any additional comments? Call the roll, please.
Okay, Mr. Creed,
Yes.
Mr. Pratt,
Yes.
Ms. Hilline,
Yes.
Mr. Zabel,
Yes.
Mr. Zelinski.
Motion carries. That completes all of our business. Will we have a meeting in September?
Well, yeah, I guess if we come back in September, we'll have the.
If you're ready, yeah, if you've got it ready, we could have a meeting then. Yeah. Yeah, sure. So maybe.
You call these EV places, Daryl. You call these EV places, I get calls all the time. They'll send me brochures, what they're all look like and stuff, but I get calls every day when I put them in the parking lots. Next one calls me, I'll see if they'll send me some.
We may have to address solar
Yeah, let's
panels too.
just get some more information so we can do that one right. Not have to, I mean, we're going to be tweaking. I mean, it's a new thing, but I think it is good to get ahead of it.
Also, Darren, while you're at it, I don't know if we have anything on there on solar panels, either residential or couple of you. We do, okay. Because that may be good to tie in with that EV, but if we already have a solar panel section, I didn't have time to look it up. Obviously, that's going to be the next big thing too.
Yeah, and again, that's something as this gets more common, whatever, it might have to be tweaked as we go along.
Okay.
All right.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion is, well, we have a couple seconds. Take your pick. Call the roll.
Okay, Mr. Zelinski,
Yes.
Mr. Zabel,
Yes.
Ms. Hilline,
Yes.
Mr. Pratt,
Yes.
Mr. Creed.
Yes.
Motion's adjourned, meeting's adjourned. Thanks, everybody.